Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's now officially 6:31 on Monday, May 19th, 2025. I now call the Winton Woods City School Board of Education meeting to order. We're going to go ahead and go on to agenda item 1.02. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd rise, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we're going to move on to 1.02 agenda item, 1.03. Mr. Seymour, can you please call for the roll, please?
Ms. Bryant?
Present.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mrs. Knighton?
Present.
Mr. Spielman?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Seymour. The next agenda item is 2.01, District Honors, Recognitions, Gifts, and Introductions. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Ms. Knighton, and good evening, everybody. Just great to see you all out this evening. Thanks for joining us. We do have a lot to celebrate tonight as we approach the end of the school year, and it is the month of May. So without any further ado, let's get right into some of these celebrations. And we will begin with the Winton Woods Early Childhood Central Campus Art Gallery, the annual art gallery. This was held on May 2nd, and we have four students to honor and recognize this evening for their artistic talent. This was actually put on, this art show, by Winton Woods Early Childhood Center art teacher, Miss Sharon Smith. And the first selection this evening will be an honorable mention, and it goes to ECCC student, Juliana Gonzalez. Are you here, Juliana? Okay. Go ahead and proceed on. Miss Jordan, are you over there? Did you present the art? Yeah, okay. Oh, she just arrived. Okay. Hello, Juliana. Hi. How are you? Good. Congratulations. Now, this is for your amazing artwork, and we're so proud of you. Who did you bring with you this evening? Who came with you this evening? We'd like to invite them up too for a picture. All right.
So everyone can see it, the picture.
Who came with you this evening? We'd like to invite them up too for a picture. All right.
Great job.
Congratulations, Juliana. The next selection for the art show would be principal selection, Malaya Sims. Congratulations. And is it Malia? Malia, thank you. Malia Sims, congrats. And Malia, who did you bring with you this evening? For showing your artwork, and it's amazing. So who came with you this evening? Let's invite her up too. Congratulations, Malia. The next honoree would be also a principal's selection, and that goes to Mackenzie Mercer. And Mackenzie, who came with you this evening? We'd like to invite them up as well.
I peeked
Okay.
when I came in, but.
And the final selection this evening is the superintendent selection, and it goes to, and by the way, the name of the piece is The Love Monster, and it's blue and green, so I almost had to pick it. And it goes to Diego Morales Perez. Diego couldn't be with us this evening, so congrats though, Diego. It's a great piece. All right, moving on to the next honor this evening, the next award. We'll be looking at the May 2025 Horace Mann Fine Arts Student of the Month Award. To be nominated for this award, just to tell you a little bit about the criteria, a student must maintain an academic standard of 3.0 GPA or above in the previous quarter, show respect for directors, fellow ensemble members, contest adjudicators, teachers, and other students and family, show enthusiasm and a positive attitude, display commitment to rehearsals, concerts, and personal skill development, demonstrate honesty and integrity, and finally have high moral character. With a weighted GPA of 4.187, please help me welcome 10th grade art, choir, color guard, and drama student, Horace Mann Fine Arts Student of the Month for May, Zaria Clark. I still have to read some nice things about her because this is pretty remarkable. Zaria Clark is an amazing fine arts student who absolutely does it all. She is a member of Bella Voce and just got accepted into varsity ensemble and a cappella. She is on the costume crew for the musical and has lent her artistic eye to the impact of costumes on stage. She's been on color guard for 2 years and is easy to spot on the football field, as you could always see her smiling and performing with enthusiasm and poise. Last but not least, she is also an art student who's created both drawings and 3D sculptures this year in the art room. Finally, Zaria is an excellent student and a kind and caring person. Congratulations, Zaria. I forgot to mention that students so honored with the Horace Mann Fine Arts Student of the Month Award receive a Chipotle gift card. Okay, at this point, we can circle back because the good news is Diego just arrived. Diego, can you please join us up here?
So cute.
All right.
So cute.
There's the art. Beautiful. And Diego, did you bring some folks with you this evening? We'd love to have them join you up here. Hey. Por favor.
Come on.
That's right. Congratulations, Diego. All right, the next award this evening is the Kiwanis Character is Key Award. We're circling back to the month of April because our honoree was not able to join us that month. But this is, for the month of April, it is the character trait integrity. So I'd love to read a little bit about this. Students are selected, oh, Mr. Bell, if you could join us, thank you. Thank you, sir. Students are selected for the Kiwanis Character is Key Integrity Award based on the following description. Integrity means showing inner strength to accept responsibility for one's own actions. doing what is right because it is right, not because it is popular or comfortable, having the courage to take a stand when more popular choices would be against your principles, having honor, morality, goodwill, or sportsmanship. The Kiwanis Character is Key Integrity Award is sponsored by the Green Hills Forest Park Kiwanis Club, a business partner of Winton City Schools. The person so honored will receive a La Rosa's gift card as a part of this award. This time, we're excited to call up second grade student Gilberto Martinez III. And Gilberto, I'd love to read some nice things about you if you just stay there for just a second, and then we'll call up some family members, okay? All right, this is some good stuff. And this is from your assistant principal, Mr. Salone. He wrote this. And he says the following about Gilberto. Gilberto is a wonderful second grade student. He faces any academic, peer, or personal challenge with perseverance and courage. Rather than getting upset, he takes the time to ask questions, clarify, and work through things without being disruptive or getting aggravated. Gilberto has been elected as our classroom president this year because he is always following Winton Woods Primary South 3 pillars of excellence: respect, responsibility, and trustworthiness. With respect for his peers and adults, he always speaks in a way he would want to be spoken to, and almost always ends his comments with ma'am or sir. He is always responsible and respectful and follows classroom rules and expectations, and he shows his trustworthiness by doing what he says he's going to do. We are so proud of Gilberto and are happy to have him as a part of our school. Gilberto, could you please have anyone that came with you this evening join you? Thank you.
Amen.
So cute.
That's a little baby. I know. I love when they come out.
Oh, so good.
Congratulations again, Gilberto. The next award this evening is the Character is Key Award for the month of May, so the current month. The character trait this month is perseverance. And just a little bit about this character trait, we've already talked about the criteria for the award, but this trait, perseverance, means pursuing the right answer until you know without a doubt that you've done the right thing and completed the task to the very best of your ability. We're excited this month to honor Character is Key Perseverance Award winner, third grade student from Winton Woods Elementary School, Adriana Maya Galan. And Adriana, if you'd stay here for just a moment, I'd like to read some wonderful things about you and your perseverance, and then we'll ask your family to come up, okay? This comes from your teacher, Miss Candy James, and she says the following about you. Adriana is a shining example of perseverance and dedication. Throughout the school year, she has consistently demonstrated an unwavering focus in class and a strong commitment to giving her very best in every task. No matter the challenge, she approaches her work with determination and a positive attitude. One of the most inspiring aspects of her journey has been her tremendous growth in reading. Through hard work and resilience, she has made significant progress, showing that with effort, perseverance, and grit, great achievements are possible. We are so very proud of Adriana. She is truly deserving of the Perseverance Award this month. Congratulations. And if the family could please join, that would be wonderful. Congratulations again, Adriana. The next award for this month is a Kiwanis Student of the Month Award, and this is for Winton's High School. And again, Kiwanis Student of the Month Award is sponsored by the Green Hills Forest Park chapter of the Kiwanis Club, a partner of Winton City Schools, and students so honored will receive a La Rosa's gift card as a part of this award. I would love to welcome to the front and honor for May 2025, Kiwanis Student of the Month from 11th grade, Jeff Ryan Njoku Dimo. I'd still love to read this bit about Jeff and in recognition of him as Student of the Month. And this is written by Mr. Brad Tash, high school counselor.
Jeff just got it.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Ashbrook.
Yes. Go on up.
Jeff, welcome.
Okay.
Good to see you, sir.
Worth the wait.
Worth the wait.
Yes.
Yeah, and Jeff, I'd love to read some really great things about you in honor of you as Student of the Month. Thank you. Good to see you. This is written by Mr. Brad Tash, your school counselor, by the way. And he writes, for the month of May, the high school has selected Jeff Njoku to receive the Student of the Month Award. Jeff is a very involved student who displays a great deal of maturity and caring toward his fellow students. Jeff shows off his athletic prowess as well at school as a member of the cross-country team. Outside of school, don't mess with Jeff because he has a black belt in Taekwondo. True story. Congrats on that. His true love, though, is the theater. Jeff takes on prominent roles in every play and musical. He also performs with the Winton Woods a cappella group, Reverie. And as if that wasn't enough, Jeff is also a junior ambassador, part of Model UN, and holds a part-time job at a restaurant. Miss Power, Jeff's teacher, also had this to say. Jeff is always willing to help a fellow student or take on the lead in a group project. He asks wonderful, insightful questions that help push the class forward. This past month, Jeff also advocated for me to be able to chaperone a field trip opportunity to take students to the courthouse and witness an actual trial. When Jeff indicated he was interested in possibly studying law, he was invited to the courthouse downtown with a small group of students. When Miss Power mentioned to Jeff that she was not asked to chaperone, he took it upon himself to email the organizer of the trip and see if Miss Power would be able to go, and she did indeed end up being able to attend. This is the type of selfless act that Jeff performs on a daily basis. Jeff Njoku is a good-hearted young man who makes Winton Woods a better place because he's here. He is a role model of trust, respect, and responsibility in everything he takes on. That is why he was nominated for May's Student of the Month. Congratulations. And Jeff, if anyone was able to join you this evening, we'd love to have them come forward.
Family shows up.
Everybody show us.
All right.
We appreciate honor.
They get the best dress.
Congratulations, Jeff. And Mr. Bell, I believe you were going to
If I
have a
could
few
just
words this evening.
Take a quick moment. I would like to thank the board, since this is the last opportunity before the summer begins. I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank the board and the administration and the community for the opportunity to partner with the school district to recognize our students, to spotlight our students. Sometimes I think perhaps the community doesn't know as well as it should what extraordinary students we produce in this school district. We are well known sometimes for our athletes, and we are all proud of our athletes. Our athletes are extraordinary in this district, but it's not an either-or situation. Our athletes are extraordinary, and we are also extraordinary academicians. We also have extraordinary arts in this district. And you may not know it, but we have produced students like our president of our Board of Education here is a product of our school district. Did you know the president of the Finneytown Board of Education is a product of the Winton Woods School District as well? We have produced people like David Adamson, who is the head of a multi-million-dollar industry that basically is a digital industry that hunts out student cheating on homework and those kinds of things. We have the art director for Murders in the Building is a product of the Winton Woods School District. So we have many, many highly qualified students who have graduated from this school district that we are very proud of, that should be known and should be spotlighted, and we are so proud of them all. And the small opportunity we've had to help spotlight that makes us all proud. So thank you for that opportunity, and thank you all for what you do for the district as well.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. We certainly appreciate all of our business partners, and Kiwanis is very much appreciated, so thank you for all your support and partnership over the years. We turn now to the next award, which is the Skyline Chili Student Athlete of the Month Award. I'll read just a brief bit about this award and the criteria for nomination. To be nominated for the Skyline Student Athlete of the Month, students must maintain an academic GPA of 3.0 or higher in the previous academic quarter, show respect for coaches, teammates, officials, teachers, other students, and family, show enthusiasm and a positive attitude, that's both on and off the court or field, display commitment to practice games and personal skill development, demonstrate honesty and integrity by playing by the rules, and finally have high moral character. The Skyline Student Athlete of the Month Award is sponsored by the Forest Park Skyline Chili Restaurant, a business partner of Winton City Schools, and student athletes who are so honored receive a Skyline gift card as a part of the award. This month, we're excited to honor, with a 4.0 GPA, May 2025 Skyline Student Athlete of the Month, 8th grade student in football and athlete in football and track, Devson Thapa. Congrats, Devson. I'd love to read this to acknowledge your efforts on and off the court and field. This is from Mr. Winfield Franklin, who coaches both football and track at the middle school. Devson was this year's recipient of the Winton Woods Middle School Archie Griffin Sportsmanship Award, too, so we'll add that onto the list. It's excellent. Devson is an 8th grader at Winton Woods Middle School. He excels both in sports and in academics. He is a two-sport athlete, that's football and track and field, and played both sports in 7th grade as well as in 8th grade. He is also an honor student. He is the ultimate teammate and classmate. He is humble, dependable, and accountable. He's a hard worker and is very giving of his time. Whatever he puts his mind to, he's going to accomplish it. Devson is the very best of what Winton Woods Middle School has to offer. Congrats, Devson. And if, anyone that accompanied Devson, we'd love to have you come forward. The next award on the list, and congratulations again, Debson. The next award on the list this evening of our different honors and awards would be the Congressional Art Competition that recently happened. This is a recognition for a Winton Woods High School student. This student's name is Ryan Brown Williams. Ryan, could you be with us this evening? Ryan Brown Williams. Okay, I'll just read a bit about it. Miss Jordan, if you have the selection, I'm not sure, do you have this selection? Or is it still on display? Okay. Thanks, Miss Becky Youngs. So just a bit about this. This is a pretty prestigious accomplishment. So congratulations to Ryan, whose artwork entitled Elizabeth Catlett was chosen as a finalist in the eighth Congressional Art Competition. His art was on display at the Grove Event Center on May 10th, which is not easy to do. So congratulations to Ryan and that achievement. So good job, Ryan. All right, the next award on the list this evening is the Skyline Teacher of the Month Award. And just a bit about the award. To be nominated for this, teachers must demonstrate the following: excellence in the classroom by using instructional practices that support high academic achievement, motivation by encouraging and motivating students to surpass their expectations, both academically and socially, leadership by having a positive attitude with students, parents, colleagues, and the community, creativity and imagination by demonstrating this creativity in their teaching in a way that inspires students to learn, dedication by showing excellent attendance, punctuality, and overall dependability, and finally, exhibiting communication that effectively communicates to their classrooms, parents, colleagues, and beyond. The Skyline Teacher of the Month Award is sponsored by the Forest Park Skyline Chili Restaurant, a business partner of Winton Woods City Schools, and teachers who are so honored receive a Skyline Chili gift certificate. We're thrilled to acknowledge from Winton Woods South Campus the May 2025 Skyline Teacher of the Month, Miss Deb Hauser. Ms. Hauser, I'd love to read this about you and your work, and then we'll ask anyone you brought with you this evening, as well as Principal Homan, to join us. So just a bit about you and what you do. Mr. Homan writes, "It's my pleasure to nominate Ms. Hauser as Teacher of the Month. She is an integral part of the staff here at Winton Woods South Campus. She challenges students academically while meeting them also where they are. Her students achieve and often exceed academic expectations with the support of her well-run and well-designed classroom. The unwavering belief in every student's potential sets up an outstanding experience for the students that she serves. Ms. Hauser fosters strong homeschool connections and contributes to a collaborative culture that strengthens the entire school community. In every way, Ms. Hauser embodies the qualities we celebrate in a Teacher of the Month." Congratulations, Dan. Mr. Homan or anyone that was here this evening, we'd love to have you join. Or any representatives from South Campus? I see one. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Fields. Appreciate you. And Ms. Bray. Thank you and congratulations again. The next award on the list is one that we don't give out very often, but we're always excited and anxious to be able to give it out when we can. And it's always this time of year because it's only given to a family who has their youngest child about to graduate from high school. So we have two families, three parents we'd like to be able to recognize this evening. And this is the 2025 Extra Mile Parent Award. And as you might guess, it's for parents that go above and beyond and go that extra mile. So this evening, this award is giving an honor and recognition to outstanding parent involvement above and beyond in the Winton Woods City Schools throughout the years that their child has attended in our district. And it only is awarded to parents whose youngest child is about to graduate, and those families and parents are eligible to receive this award. So this evening, we're excited to honor Mr. and Mrs. Randy Stumpf. Congratulations. And if you have any other honored guests that you brought along with you, okay. Thank you so much for everything you've done. We're also thrilled to be able to honor another parent this evening with the same award, the 2025 Extra Mile Parent Award. We're thrilled to be able to acknowledge Miss Deasia Taylor. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Taylor, for all you've done as well. Thank you. Next on the list is the Hamilton County Education Foundation 2025 Celebrate Excellence Educator Award. Congratulations to this individual who was selected as the Winton Educator of the Year for her hard work, dedication, and outstanding contribution in providing technology support and educational opportunities to the teachers and students within our district. She was honored at the annual Hamilton County Education Foundation Celebrate Excellence Breakfast on May 2nd at the Sharonville Convention Center. Please help me welcome Ms. Rhonda Hobbs, Director of Technology. Congratulations, Ms. Hobbs, and thank you. Next on the list, we have another honor to be able to recognize. This is the National Alliance of Black School Educators, or NABC, Midwest 2025 Administrator Honoree Award. This award goes to an educational professional here in Winton Woods who was presented with this award in acknowledgement of her dedication, leadership, service, and remarkable achievements as an outstanding administrator of excellence. The presentation took place at the 2025 NABC Midwest 11th Annual Administrator Appreciation and Student Recognition Banquet held in Columbus on April 26th. We're extremely proud of this individual. Please help me welcome Principal of Winton Woods Intermediate School, Deneen Fields. Miss Deneen Fields. Thank you so much, Ms. Fields. Very proud of that achievement. This next one's a biggie. It's another biggie. This one is for 10 years in a row. This is a district level award, actually. We're very proud of this. This is the 10th year that the district has actually been awarded this. It's the National Association of Music Merchants, or NAM, Foundation 2025 Best Communities for Music Education. This district selection, or our district selection as one of the NAM Foundation 2025 Best Communities for Education Award has been awarded this year, and again, it's the 10th year. Special thanks are extended to Ms. Danny Ashbrook, Director of Bands, and Ms. Carol Becky Youngs, Fine Arts Facilitator, for leading this process of Winton City Schools' selection and application to achieve this honor. I'd like to call them both forward at this time to be recognized. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication, and really you're accepting this on behalf of the entire music department, because our entire music department has been a huge part of this. So thanks to you, and thanks to all of them as well. And finally, last but absolutely certainly not even remotely least, we have a Community Spirit Award this evening. This award is intended to be given to people who have made significant contributions over many, many years of service to the district and to our school system. And if you all have seen the ribbons on Winton Road along the fence, there's 376 of those, one for each graduating senior this year. And those were all made for almost 20 years by two individuals. And they are community members who have great passion and love for our kids and want the best for our kids, just like we all do. And they exemplified that by their volunteerism in making those ribbons for many, many years, 2 decades. And so we're honored to be able to recognize one of them. One of them's already been recognized, but we wanted to be sure to recognize both. And that is this evening awarding for this Miss Betty Dunn. Oh, correction. 30 years. Thank you. Wow. 3 decades. That concludes the honors and gifts and awards. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Denny, and thank you, everybody, for being here. Congratulations to all of the people that we've been able to recognize tonight. You guys make it worthwhile, for letting us do what we do, so thank you. The next item on the agenda is 3.01, public comments. Mr. Seymour, do we have any?
No.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is 4.01. At this time, we will take a brief recess. That'll be 5 minutes long. Thank you.
Well, while we have a moment, I just would like to say that I thoroughly enjoyed our graduation ceremony last week. It was a great occasion, and I would definitely like to send my appreciation to Mr. Martin, our principal at the high school, who's done this phenomenally for years, and his team of assistant principals as well. I mentioned this, but I don't say this lightly. I think that was probably one of my most favorite graduations to be a part of, and I think I've probably been a part of about 10 of them. I just enjoyed it so much. The energy was outstanding. The celebration was be fit for a warrior. So I appreciate Mr. Martin and all of his staff on all the hard work, because it is a very tedious process to make sure that all the finite details are taken care of and to have it done in such excellence. So once again, thank you, Mr. Martin, for all of that. All right, let's move on to 5.01, public hearing to consider the rehire and retire Superintendent Denny. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, President Smith, and again, good evening, everyone. Board, this is an opportunity pursuant to Ohio Revised Code in the event a public school district entertains the notion of rehiring someone who is a retiree, that there's an opportunity for public comment. So this agenda item simply represents that, again, following process, procedure, and law in the state of Ohio. So if there's anyone at this time that has any public comment in regards to any of the retiree hires, this would be the afforded opportunity.
Seeing none, let's move on to 6.01. Thank you, Mr. Denny. Winton Woods Teachers Association, WWTA, do we have a representative here today? Seeing none, let's move on to 6.02. OPSI, do we have a representative here today? Seeing none, let's move on to 7.01, the waiving of the reading of the minutes. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes for the following meetings. The regular meeting, April 28, 2025. The regular meeting, May the 12th, 2025.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded. Is there any comments or concerns? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, let's call the vote.
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you, Board. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes as presented. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as presented for the April 28th regular meeting and the May 12th regular meeting.
It's been motioned. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
It's been seconded. Is there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, will you call the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
I abstained from the April 28th meeting, as I wasn't, not in attendance, but aye to the May 12th.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes. Thank you, Board. Next on the agenda is the Treasurer Report, 8.01, the financial statements for January that's not right, excuse me. We're risking through here.
Yes,
All right,
Board,
there we
you
go.
have,
April 2025. Thank you. Mr. Seymour, you have the floor.
you have the report before you. On page 1 is a reconciliation for the month of April. Page 2 shows you the year-to-date revenues at $55.4 million for the general fund, with month-to-date revenues of $3.2 million, and most of that was $2.3 million from state foundation, and we also got $800,000 from our final real estate settlement. Then you're shown the year-to-date expenditures at $51.1 million, which is currently running approximately 3.5% under budget, or $2.2 million. And then on page 5 is the unencumbered balance for all funds at approximately $30.1 million. And a list of each of those funds is listed for you on that final page for the month of April.
Thank you, Mr. Seymour. Now let the financial statements presented be filed for audit. Next on the agenda is Treasurer's Recommendation, 9.01, Investment Reports for April 2025. Mr. Seymour, you have the floor.
Yes, for the month of April, the district had $35.1 million invested with a total earnings of $130,065, of which $115,862 was the general fund and $14,203 was for the building funds.
Thank you, Mr. Seymour. Board, a motion is in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the investment report as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Are there any questions or discussions?
Just on that, this is the balance, the 35 million is the lowest it's been in the past 3 months, but we've made more interest than we have the past 2 months.
It's all due to the how our cash flow comes in.
Okay.
And our expenditures are consistently pretty much even each month, with not as much variation as revenues.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion?
No.
Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, can you call for the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Board. Next on the agenda is 9.02, and that is the 5-year forecast. Mr. Seymour, you have the floor.
Before we take a vote on it, I would like to just take a few minutes to review it with you. Of course, it's the 5-year forecast, and we're required to submit it twice a year, once in November and then in May. to the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. And the only funds that are included in the 5-year forecast, of course, are just the general fund. So what is included in the forecast for projected revenues? We're showing our projected revenues to, as you can see, through 22 through 26, they gradually grew. That's basically due to our fair school funding formula. Real estate holds fairly constant. Real estate and state funding make up 94% of our total funds on average for each year.
Thank you, Mr. Seymour. Board, a motion is in order.
I have a few more slides if that's okay.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, you stopped. I thought,
I'll try to move fast for you. Okay?
if you could only oblige, I appreciate it.
Of course, we're using the assumption in the 5-year forecast, the governor's proposal. As you know, the state funding is in a flux. Right now, we're just going to use the governor's proposal, which is basically the fair school funding formula with no base cost increase. So currently, the base cost across the state, base cost increase is right around $8,150, and our state share is $4,650, and our local share of that is $3,500. And if we don't increase that as we go through the funding formula, our local share begins to rise. It would be fully phased in 2027. For the 25 year, we'll get approximately $25 million in state support, $5 million in restricted state support, $25 million in unrestricted, for approximately $30 million total. Unrestricted is basically the fair funding formula at $23.6 million. We also get transportation for special ed, preschool special ed, and casino proceeds, for the total adding up to $25.1 million. We also get what's called restricted funds, which are used for a specific purpose. We get student wellness and success at $742,000, disadvantaged pupil impact aid at almost $3 million, English learners for about $650,000, gifted for about $150,000, and catastrophic or threshold costs for $460,000. This is maybe a little hard to see, but this is showing the total foundation funding. And as you can see, from 23 through 26, we had increased funding because of the fair school funding formula. Then, and you hit FY26, it's reduced because there's no base cost increase, so that increase is not quite the same. And then you can see in 28 and 29, it starts to de-escalate or go down. And that's basically because the base cost will start to shift back to the local school districts, because our ability to raise those funds, our local effort, meaning our valuation per pupil and our average adjusted family income, will rise as they keep theirs constant, so that makes that piece of the pie shift locally. For real estate taxes, we currently have total valuation for the district of $763 million, and we have proposed approximately a $75,000 increase for the reevaluation for calendar year 27. Real estate taxes are pretty much hold constant. Roughly about $23.3 million come from real estate and $2.4 million from public utility. They hold pretty constant. There's no big increases there like there was in state funding under fair school funding formula. Other operating revenues we pretty much held constant, except for our interest income, which would obviously go down as our cash balances go down and as the projected interest rate is projected to go down. Our total projected expenditures are here. Roughly 75% of all of our expenditures are salaries and benefits. Purchase services are 20%, making salaries, benefits, and purchase services almost 95% of our total budget. And of course, our purchase services include things of all of our contracts, like our Scarlet and Gray contract, our Hamilton County contract for special services, utilities, maintenance, and all of those purchase service like that. Also, we've included any negotiated agreements, step increases for 25 through 29, and also a modest cost of living increase. Retirement and Medicare are associated with salary increases. Healthcare is projected at 7.5. That's conservative. I'm not sure that will hold. And also dental is projected at 7.5. Also, our purchase services are going to increase at about 5% per year. And as you know, when we came off of ARP ESSER, we moved 1.3 million of those expenditures into the general fund. Also for this year, we included 2 resource officers, which didn't really materialize, but we did hire extra purchase services from our local agencies to cover those. So we did spend some of those funds on that. And as I understand, we're going to continue the process to get those 2 resource officers. We also had to contract with 2 intervention specialists this year, and then also our communication services. And supplies and materials are projected at 3%, and of course everyone's familiar with the science of reading. That was $200,000 this year, will be $200,000 next year, and we received those funds in 2024. Capital outlay is basically just fluctuating due to purchasing of 2 buses in 25, 27, and 29. So here you can see how our total expenditures begin to outweigh our total revenues as we head into 27, 28, and 29. We were actually able to maintain pretty much a balanced budget with revenues and expenditures for 24, 25, and 26. Here we're just trying to show that our historical change in revenue was at about 4%, and that's due to the Fair School funding formula, and also our average increase in expenditures was only 2.4%, but as you know, we had ESSER funds and we had ESSER ARP during that historical period of 3 years. Now we enter into our projected expenses, where we're going to have to take those ESSER funds back in, and our projected expenditures will then go to 6%. So our revenues are being adjusted because of the Fair School funding, the school funding formula downward, and expenditures are back to normal after the ESSER funds are totally gone for the our historical expenditures. And here we can just see how revenues were over expenditures and how we're pretty stable through 26, and then we start to eat into those cash balances as we project for the forecast years. And then here's our projected cash balances. We were at 18 million last year, projected at 19 million this year, about 18 million for 26, and those projected cash balances go down to almost non-existent cash balance for 29. And then, as you know, we passed our policy on operating cash days. So here I converted the cash balance into cash days. We're at 121 until we go down to basically nothing in 2029 for this forecast. And then we've had a lot of talk about cash balances exceeding 30%, exceeding 25%. So I just thought I would share with you what percent is our cash balance of our expenditures of the prior year. And for this year, we're projected to be at about 31.3%. And then you can see we go down and escalate downward as we go into our cash reserves. And then on the very last one is just that to show how the red is the expenditures, how they have a pretty straight line trending upward, just like any inflationary cost. But our revenues kept up and then start to plateau out as fair school funding under the current governor's proposal. And then the distance between green and red is our cash balance, and you can see that we use our cash balance to fund our expenditure plan. That's basically the 5-year forecast. There's a very possibility that if House Bill 96 goes through, we'll be back here doing this in June, and it'll be called a 3-year forecast. I have no idea at this time what will happen. And so with that, I would ask the board to approve the proposed 5-year forecast.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the 5-year forecast for fiscal years 2025 through 2029 as presented.
I'll second that.
It's been motion and second. Any discussion?
Just a question, are you considering the Boys and Girls Clubs a purchase service?
Yes, it will be.
Okay. Just curious.
I do have a question, and you may not know this. When you looked at the cost potentially for healthcare and dental, and you said 7.5, I almost
It's
laughed.
modest.
Yes, because I'm like, 7.5, what world? That would be nice. So do you have an idea of what it, on the more realistic side, it could possibly go up to?
Right now, we're having healthcare committee meetings. We have both OPSI represented,
Mhm.
administration represented, and WWTA represented. And we are working on plan design changes to bring that cost down.
Okay.
Right now, we're being told that the consortium could run right around 10%, and Winton Woods is running at 12 to 13. So we are looking at plan design changes that both administration and employee groups will be, agreeable with. We're looking at, possibly prescription changes, deductible changes, things like that.
Thank you.
But that's just in the process right now. And I think that all the people involved are in agreement. They want to bring that cost down and see what we can do collectively.
Great, thank you. One more question. The bus purchases, did I hear at some point that we're going to get another nutritionist mission bus? Or did I make that up? As a van, okay, I was like, okay, is that part of this projected? So
No,
that's
that will be
different. Okay,
from food
thank you.
service.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. I was like, did I hear? For some reason, in my mind, it's a bus, but it's not. Thank you for that
That's okay.
clarification. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mr. Day.
Any further discussion? Mr. Seymour, can you call the vote?
Mrs. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Seymour, for that report. Next on the agenda is reports of the superintendent. 10.01, school report. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you, President Smith, and good evening again, Board. So before you, Board, you should have a report of upcoming school events. Starting with tomorrow, we have some track meets, co-ed, boys and girls. And that's the district meets. Last day for students, though it's hard to believe, is this coming Friday. That will be the final day of school for our kids. Looking ahead, obviously, we have the Memorial Day weekend. Our teachers wrap up with a professional development day on Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day, and then a records day per contract to round out the 185th day of service in their school year. So regional track meets come up that weekend. That's pretty exciting. Hopefully we'll see some of our young men and women progress to that point. Summer school kicks off soon. That's June 2nd through June 26th. And that's in the morning at both North and South Campus, 8 o'clock to noon. And then the Nutrition is the Mission summer meal service also starts that week. And that will extend all the way through the end of July. That's July 25th. So that's Monday through Friday. Summer school's Monday through Thursday due to our cost savings days, of which you see several of those. There's one per week for 9 weeks, from June until the 1st of August. ACT testing is coming up Saturday, June 14th, so we want to be mindful of that. And of course, we also want to make sure that we're honoring Juneteenth Independence Day holiday. On June 19th, the district will be closed that day, and there would also not be summer meal service with the Nutrition is the Mission bus as well. Finally, June 23rd will be the next regular Board of Education meeting. That concludes the report of upcoming school events.
Thank you very much, Mr. Denny, for that report. Next, we'll move on to 10.02, Student Achievement Report. Superintendent Denny, the floor is yours.
Thanks again, Mr. Smith. This evening for the Student Achievement Report, we have the Title IV federal funding report and also the Student Success and Wellness Report. And to deliver that this evening will be Mr. Doug Sanker, the Supervisor of State and Federal Programs and Testing.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Denny, and thank you, Board. So I have a slideshow here that outlines how we are spending some money out of our Title IV budget as well as our Student Wellness and Success funds. For Title IV last year, we received roughly $177,000. For Student Wellness and Success, it was around $750,000. Student Wellness and Success is a state fund, so these are funds that are earmarked for districts to support students' mental health and wellness in the school building. We use this to coordinate practices associated with students' social and emotional well-being, as well as to keep them academically engaged. And Title IV basically has 3 buckets that we look at. Part of that money is to go to well-rounded education, providing just things beyond your typical classroom. We can also use those funds for school culture and safety, and we use some of our funds for technology as well. In terms of student wellness and success, a lot of that goes into some full-time equivalent units for teachers. In particular, we have 4 teachers that fall under social emotional learning, and then we have at the high school a transition coordinator. In particular, at our South Campus, we have 3 teachers that basically teach a social emotional class called Sources of Strength as a special, like an elective that happens at the elementary school level. Each of the teachers teaches 5 to 6 classes per day, and that touches every student in the school building. In terms of our 4th FTE, at the middle school, we have a positive behavior intervention support coach. She organizes check-in, check-out for students. That's a way to build relationships with kids and to encourage them on a daily basis. She also engages in some professional developing, whether it's mentoring of new teachers or offering professional development on restorative practices and building just a positive classroom culture. And she also, her name is Naisha James, she also engages with families and school safety events as well. At the high school, we have 1 transition coordinator. He offers one-on-one mentoring services for students. He engages in re-entry programs for students that may have been out on school discipline. He will do active monitoring with students, kind of that whole piece where he's daily meeting with students. He also participates in our attendance intervention teams at the high school and diversionary court hearings as well. Some other uses of student wellness and success is nursing support for 4 individuals. 3 of those folks are contracted through Hamilton County that work in our various buildings, and 1 is our district nursing supervisor who I think primarily works out of the South Campus. Some numbers from last year's clinic visits, about 17,000. For the first semester of this school year, we're a little bit over 10,000. So as you can see, our nurses are engaging with students a lot, whether it's sick students, broken legs, diabetes care. Our nurses are doing a lot of services for students. Going now to Title IV, in terms of the use of technology budget, we have dedicated some of these funds to ST Math and Gizmo Learning. ST Math is used primarily in our K-6 buildings and a bit in our middle school. ST Math specializes in spatial temporal reasoning abilities. So it's kind of a math program that doesn't utilize a lot of words. It tries to help our students learn math concepts and practice math concepts without a lot of jargon. As you can imagine, that is very helpful for some of our language learners and some of our students that might get tripped up on word-heavy math problems. So at $33,000, these are first semester numbers. We had roughly 26,000 logins by 2,700 students. So for first semester, that was about $12 in change per student. And of course, that will, the more logins that we have, the price of that interaction point is pretty affordable. Gizmo Learning is a program that helps students with language deficits. It supports them in science. And here for this program at $13,000, we've had roughly 4,600 logins for first semester, used by 300 students in 5th grade through 9th grade. In terms of well-rounded education, every year we use some of these funds to pay for Global Academy, or Academy of Global Studies field trips. In particular, they take 4 field trips in the late winter to Chicago, Detroit, New York City, and Washington, D.C. This does not pay for students' lodging or their transportation, but it does allow them access to museums, planetariums, tours, different learning experiences like that. This year we had 141 students go and 15 teachers. For culture and safety, several programs associated with this. At the high school, they've identified 40 students that need behavioral programming, and there are 2 contractors that we work with. One is Icron, and the other is a professional by the name of Meredith Potter. They work with students one-on-one or in small groups, teaching them skills around relationship building, decision-making, and managing their emotions and making good decisions. In terms of other culture and safety purchases, the middle school has done a program called A Wired Family. It teaches students skills around social media and their digital footprint, kind of how to manage that whole world for these new, some new to social media students. So they do 2 programs a year at the middle school. And then at the IS building, there is a new after-school program with a great name, the POW-HER program, dedicated to young ladies that need just extra support. Because it's an after-school program, not all the students that signed up or are in need of the program are able to participate. But last year, there were 10 5th graders and 4 6th graders that met in this program. And then lastly, Dream Builders University. Some of the cost for Dream Builders comes out of general fund, but from Title IV, we spent $23,000, where Dream Builders they supported last year 124 students. They used something called a grit scale, which helps students measure their ability to persevere. And there's been a 25% improvement on that grit scale for our students. And they focus on goals and avoiding negative influences and seeking help in appropriate ways. So that is the conclusion of how we've spent some of these funds from these two pots of money. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Board, anyone?
No, just thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanker, for
Thank
that
you.
presentation. Very well put together. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Sanker.
Mr. Denny, with your blessing, to move on to 10.03, facilities update.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. 10.03 Facilities Update will be presented by Mr. Jeremy Day, Executive Director of Business Affairs.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Thanks for having me. Update on the central office parking lot. We did take something off your agenda tonight, sadly. We had the bid opening last week for the parking lot. The bids did come in too high, so we are going to have to rebid, forced to rebid. The new time frame for that is this Thursday, May 22nd is going to be the first ad in the paper. May 29th, next Thursday will be the second, and then June 11th will be the bid opening for this project. Couple things we think affected it. We did get some feedback from one of the contractors. I think a lot of it actually probably boils down to the amount of land that they're going to have to bring in to the site to level it off. You don't really notice it when you're there unless you're really looking at it, but it actually does slope down pretty heavily down towards Waycross. So that's going to be that's probably what really drove the cost up. So we adjusted the bid estimate, and then we're hopeful to get more vendors as well, because we only had two. So that's another thing that we were wondering what happened as far as how the bids came in. But we adjusted the estimate. We feel good about that. We're not using any general fund money at all in this project. Mr. Denny, myself, and Mr. Seymour feel comfortable with the estimate being what it is at this point. It is going to delay the project probably about a month. Ultimately is what it's going to do. Luckily, with asphalt companies, they typically don't shut down until about November. We've got plenty of time to get the job in. The biggest thing for us is to make sure that we had everything done for the renovation we're hoping to go to bid for by the end of the calendar year. So I think we've got plenty of time for that. They're estimated to be about 2 months to finish the project, the parking lot project. The CO renovation, central office renovation, SHP is beginning/resuming the work from before with the renovation and the interior. At this time, I've had a number of meetings with a number of different people from SHP about the different parts of the job. So they are actively working on that right now. And then some athletic updates. Based on the conversation that you had with Mr. Denny the other day, we're going to be getting some additional quotes for the wind shear and some different heights and measurements that way. We definitely will be doing that. That's in process. Baseball field will be getting done in 2 different phases, which the grass part of that won't be getting done until late fall. So it's more of an adornment time frame, so we don't have to water it all summer long. And so that'll be done in 2 phases that way when you see that happening. And then we also have the permitting starting at this time with the city for the scoreboard. So we're well on our way for that. So, yes. Any questions?
I just want to say yay for the baseball. That's exciting to hear that there'll be some renovations going on to this.
Yeah. It's going to look nice. It's going to look really nice.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Thank you for that.
Is there a drawing of the scoreboard? I know it's going to look like the existing one.
I do have it. The top part, it really is almost an exact match of the football, of the stadium scoreboard with the archway. It's the same vendor that we're going to for the scoreboard. They're going to be getting me renderings. That's actually part of the permitting process. I don't have that yet. That's going to be attached. I do have some general photographs of what it does look like that we can get to you easily. Yeah.
Thank you.
What was the adjusted bid price that we're looking at for the driveway?
410,000.
Okay.
410,000, yes.
Anyone else, board? If not, Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
No problem, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is 11.01, Memorandum of Understanding between Winton Woods City School District and Winton Woods Teachers Association. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. 11.01, as you mentioned, is an MOU between the district and WWTA, the Winton Woods Teachers Association Board. You should have before you that MOU in that particular language, and the recommended action would be to approve the memorandum of understanding between Winton Woods City Schools and the Winton Woods Teachers Association as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'd like to move we approve the memorandum of understanding between Winton Woods City School District and Winton Woods Teachers Association as presented.
It's been motioned. Can I get a second?
A second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, will you call the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you, Board. Next on the agenda is 11.02, Personnel Schedule. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you again, Mr. Smith. 11.02, Personnel Schedules. Board, you should have before you Schedules A, B as in boy, C, D as in, E as in Edward, and D as in David. 5 schedules. The recommended action, Board, would be to approve these as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'd like to move we approve the personnel schedules as presented.
It's been motioned. Can I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
It's been seconded. Board, is there any questions or discussion? Give you a minute to take a look. All right, Board. Seeing no questions. Mr. Seymour, can you call the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Moving on to 11.03, exempt employee salary schedule. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you, President Smith. 11.03 is the exempt employee salary schedule, bringing us before the board the typical month that we would normally do so. You should have before you, Board, that schedule effective July 1st, 2025. The recommended action would be to approve the exempt employee salary schedule effective July 1st of this year as presented.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the exempt employee salary schedule effective July 1st, 2025 as presented.
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Mr. Spielman. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, can you call the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye, that vote passes unanimously. Thank you, Board. Let's move on to 11.04, exempt employees step placement. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. 11.04, Board, first of all, thank you for your favorable consideration and approval of the salary schedule. With that, this is now the placement of the various employees, exempt employees that would be under that particular salary schedule. And you should have before you the exempt employee step placement, also effective July 1st of this calendar year. Recommended action, Board, would be to approve step placement for exempt employees on salary schedule for exempt employees effective July 1st, 2025 as presented.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the step placement for exempt employees on salary schedule for exempt employees effective July 1st, 2025 as presented.
I'll second. Oh.
With all the excitement, we'll give it to Vice President. It's been seconded. Is there any discussion or questions?
I do have a question. So I see the step range that's proposed to be approved and the employees that you want to move to the step. Is that sort of like the annual evaluation step change, Superintendent Denny?
So this would be them completing the current year and being placed on the next step.
Okay.
They should all have evaluations completed as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So is it tied to it isn't, it's just the yearly
No, it's
completion?
years of
And then it
experience.
goes to the next step? I see Courtney shaking her, yes, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing, you got one?
No, she asked the same one.
Okay, gotcha. Seeing none, Mr. C.
I do have a question. There's an employee that's got 60% next to their name.
They're part-time.
Oh, okay, got it.
Three
Isn't
days a
that 3
week.
days a week?
3 days a week,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Was it?
Wonderful. All great questions. Anyone else? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, can you call for the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye, and that vote passes unanimously. Board, let's go ahead and move into 11.05, psychologist and nurse salary schedule. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. 11.05 is the salary schedules for psychologists and nurses. You should have before you, Board, both of those schedules, one for psychologists and one for school nurses. The recommended action would be to approve the psychologist salary schedule and the nurse salary schedule effective August 1st, 2025, as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the psychologist salary schedule and the nurse salary schedule effective August 1st, 2025, as
And,
presented.
I'll second.
I like that enthusiasm, Mr. Spielman. Wonderful. It's been motioned and seconded. Board, is there any discussion?
Just a question. So are the salaries that are shown, are they last year's salaries plus the cost of living increase?
3%.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's what's shown here is last year's plus the, okay. Thank you.
I do have a question. I noticed that for the nurse salary, it goes from step 12 to 16.
Yeah, we have several salary schedules that work in that way.
Okay.
There's longevity steps built in, but they don't necessarily reflect every single year of experience. Teachers have that as well in their salary schedule, for example.
Yeah, and if I may,
Yeah,
so
please.
people are frozen for a period of time until their experience catches up with the steps. So once they hit, say, step 12, then year 13, 14, they're frozen. They would just get a cost of living increase, not a step increase.
Okay.
And then when their experience catches up, then they move to the next step.
Same thing for the psychologist as well. Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Any more questions, Board? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, can you call for the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Board. Next on the agenda is 11.06, substitutes and temporary rates, salaries, schedules. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you again, Mr. Smith. 11.06 is substitute and temporary rates salary schedule. So, Board, you should have before you the listing of all the different substitute salaries by hour. That's effective August 1st of this particular calendar year. And, Board, the recommended action would be to approve this substitute and temporary rates salary schedule effective August 1st, 2025, as presented.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the substitute and temporary rate salary schedule effective August the 1st, 2025, as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Board, is there any comments or discussion?
Mr. Seymour, the same question. I couldn't find last year's schedule for this, but it's the same.
3%.
Okay. Thank you.
Except for substitute teachers, we held
Right.
constant.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Seeing no more questions or concerns, Mr. Seymour, can you call for the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes. Thank you very much, Board. Let's move on to 11.07, resolution to rescind prior board actions and adopt special education model policies and procedures. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you, President Smith. Board, you should have before you a resolution and just a brief history for anyone tuning in and also just for reference. In December of 2024, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce completed their requirement from the legislature to develop special education model policies and procedures. The board approved those in January, and then it was discovered by legal counsel and various parties in the state that some of the requirements required by either federal law or state law were not being satisfied. So that initial policy, resolution approving the state policies was rescinded later, and now this is a third take at that. There could be a fourth. I've been advised to just make the board aware. It's not expected, but it's possible. The law is very complex, as we all know, and needs to be to serve the needs of students with special learning needs. And so this is now a resolution to rescind the prior two resolutions and implement the current special ed model policies, special education model policies, which are now reflective of the problems that were discovered earlier, if that makes sense. So board, you should have that before you, and the recommended action would be to approve this resolution that rescinds prior board actions to adopt special education model policies and adopts the current version 1, 2025 model policies as presented.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution to rescind prior board actions and adopt special education model policies and procedures as presented.
I'll second that motion.
It's been motioned and seconded. Board, is there any comments or discussion? All right, seeing none, Mr. Seymour, can you call the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you, Board. Next on the agenda is 11.08, second read, revised board policies. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you again, Mr. Smith. 11.08, board, is the second read for this standalone policy item. It's standalone because we'd like to draw as much attention to it as possible for the benefit of our students, staff, and families. This board is the policy 5136, which is personal communications devices for students. And board, this policy would essentially restrict use of cell phones and require them to be powered off and put away during the instructional day. They would be permitted before school, permitted after school, permitted on the school bus, permitted at school events, but not permitted during the instructional day for grades pre-K through 12th grade. And board, the recommended action would be to approve the second read, revised board policy 5136 for students, personal communications devices as presented.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'd like to move that we approve the second read of the revised board policy 5136, students' personal communication devices as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Board, is there any discussion?
I just have a comment because I know this one is pretty contentious. I mean, I think a lot of parents, a lot of students have big feelings around this policy, and I think it's been a lot of discussion for us, and I think as a parent, as a board member, you have a lot of mixed emotions around how do we proceed with this policy. I think there's a lot of direction that's being kind of sought out, and there's a lot of legality behind it. There's a lot of legislature that's being written in regards to personal communication devices, and so we really are, I think, doing the best that we know how to do, and trying to do what we can, to make the best learning environment for our students. And I think this is one that is going to be, I think we're going to have a lot of questions about, but I think it's, I'm stand firm that we're, this is the best thing to do for kids and families, and I really hope and ask that we have the support of parents to really, go through with this policy, that they support, their students as they come to our buildings next year, because that's going to help the success of this, is really parents being supportive and rolling it out, and we're going to only be as great as that is, and that piece is going to be critical in the success of this. So that's just kind of my little personal plea to parents out there, is that, we can only do this with your help and support, and I think it'll be great if we can do that. So just my little 2 cents to add to this situation. It's going to be different, but it's going to be worth it, I think, in the end.
Thank you, Mrs. Knighton. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, I was gonna save this for the legislative report, but the committee also passed Senate Bill 158, which was the bill to prohibit cell phones used during the school day, and the full Senate passed Senate Bill 158. And testimony in the Senate Education Committee featured public testimony on the budget bill, and there were 130 witnesses signed up to testify in person. And there were some that left because they dropped off because of the length of the hearing, but the committee did hear approximately 7 hours of testimony on this. So this is not something that we're doing haphazardly. We're following what Senate has, mandated. So we're completely in line. So I just wanted to add that because I was going to mention that tonight anyway on my legislative report. So the fact that we have that on our docket, we just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. As you guys can see, we as a board have had great discussion on this topic, and we as a board understand and feel the pains of what is going to have to change. But with everything in life, things have to change. So as we evolve, due to whatever the necessary reasons are, whether it's the legislature or something we have to do as a district for our warriors, we have to get it done. So, we're taking a hard stance with this, and we ask, once again, that our parents have the conversations with your young people and just let them know, how things are going to have to be next year, because this is what's coming down the pike.
And I think we built a great building for the 7th through 12th grade building. It's a great facility, and this policy eliminates distractions to provide the best learning opportunities for our students. And and it's backed up by the research. The state is probably going to pass that, but irregardless of that, I think this is a great necessity to do.
I think the other thing is, first of all, thank you, board members, for all of those comments. But the biggest issue here is I can't get in touch with my student. I can't get in touch with my kid. You'll have the number for the district. They'll have access to phones if in the event of an emergency, to be able to reach people. So we want to eliminate that opportunity as well. Like President Smith said, this is not we're going to just do this to penalize. No, this is really to make sure that your students have the best learning outcome possible without the distractions. And I don't know of any parent that probably has not had to tell their child or children to put down their electronic device, right? Because they're not able to make eye contact. They're not talking and engaging. So I'm kind of optimistic this is going to be the best thing for the district and for our students, that they'll kind of go back to those basics. So again, partner with us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, board. Mr. Seymour, can you call the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you, board. Next on the agenda is 11.09, second read of the new and revised board policies. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you again, Mr. Smith. And board, on 11.08, the personal communications devices, thanks for your support and your comments. We definitely have our work cut out for us, but we want the best for our kids and families, and
Absolutely.
this is a route to get to that point. So again, thank you for your comments as well as your support, and thanks in advance to our students and parents and staff on this as we begin to communicate it and dive in. 11.09, second read. Board, this is the second half of the winter 2025 update. So this should actually, I believe, get us caught up, dare I say. But board, there should be several policies before you. This is the second read, and the request would be your favorable consideration to approve the second read, new and revised board policies as presented.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the second read for the new and revised board policies as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you. It's been motioned and seconded. Are there any discussions?
Not any discussion, but a point. I read these policies every month, and the state continues to add things that have to be done. And on this one of the statements that instruction will also have to be provided on the process of making an anatomical gift with an emphasis on life-saving and life-enhancing effects of organ and tissue donation, which I could go, that's a good job. But I wonder if we're ever going to get to the point where I go, and that has to be done for 7th through 12th graders. And you can't do it until you're 15 and a half, which is somewhere in 10th grader. And then the parents have to approve it up until you're 18. So even if you want to do it and your parents say no, you can't do it till you're 18. So I read things that the state is saying have to be done, and one of these days I'm going to go, enough,
These days.
enough.
I think today is that day.
One of these days. You know, the other comment, to your point, many of these policies are mandated by Neola. You know, they come down, we're just following, the steps of the process that every other school board across the state of Ohio, 611 districts are doing. So, and sometimes they don't always make complete sense to us, why it's necessary, but in order to remain compliant, which we have to do, we have to read these policies and make those adjustments. And if you don't agree with some of them, maybe you have to talk to your senators, your senators and
I
make,
placed that call today.
yeah, make your voice known. It's just a matter of us. That's what we do as a board, read, make adjustments to policies. If you find something that's not working, to either, adjust your policy or find out, the legal ramifications of doing it or not doing it. So, but it's just good for our viewing audience and our public to know that that is how we get, because somebody might say, well, geez, why so many? We might say that too, but they're mandated, and when you have new legislators and senators and that in office, they're looking at things a little differently, and so they pop these out. So we have to do it. So.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Mr. Seymour, can you call the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you, Board. Next on the agenda is 11.01, resolution approving rehire and retires. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Board, you should have before you a series of 4 resolutions. These are resolutions to authorize retire, rehire. And you should also have Exhibit A, which is the posting that was circulated in, as it's termed, a paper of general circulation as required. The resolutions do reference that exhibit. Board, again, this is pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Board Policy Procedure, and past practice. And the recommended action, Board, would be to approve the resolutions approving the rehire of retirees as presented.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I move we approve the resolutions approving rehire of retirees as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, can you call the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you, Board. Moving on to agenda item 11.11. At this time, there's a need to move into executive session. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to move into executive session to consider confidential information related to the marketing plan, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance, and to negotiate with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance.
I second that motion.
That's been motioned and seconded. Are there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, call the roll.
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye, that vote passes unanimously. We will now be headed into executive session. No actions will be taken in executive session, but we will be coming back to this room to conduct further business. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Mr. Seymour, can you call the roll?
Ms. Bryant?
Present?
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mrs. Knighton?
Present.
Mr. Spielman?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Present. Next on the agenda is 11.12, resolution approving a tax increment financing exemption and tax incentive compensation agreement with the City of Forest Park. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Board, you should have before you a Forest Fair Mall TIF resolution. In addition to that, there should also be Exhibit A, which is the Wentwood's notice letter, and Exhibit B, City of Forest Park Tax Incentive School Compensation Agreement. Collectively, these three attachments represent the totality of the TIF and tax incremental financing agreement that is before you, Board. And the recommended action would be for the former Forest Fair Mall property to approve the resolution approving tax increment financing exemption of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, and a tax incentive compensation agreement with the city, and that would be between the city and the City of Forest Park, or the district and the City of Forest Park. But that would all be to be approved as presented.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution approving a tax increment financing exemption of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, and a tax incentive compensation agreement with the City of Forest Park, Ohio, as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, can you call the roll?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye, that vote passes unanimously. Thank you, Board. Next on the agenda is 11.13, deed of property at 9211 Hellsworth Drive. Superintendent Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. 11.13, deeds for the property at 9211 Halesworth Drive is pursuant to the sales agreement between Wentwood City Schools and Miranda Homes. Board, you should have before you 4 deeds and a conveyance form just to serve as a reference, an exhibit reference. Board, the recommended action to help facilitate the sale of said property would be to approve a deed from the Board of Education to the Board of Education for purposes of placing an updated legal description of record for the property located at 9211 Halesworth Drive, and to approve deeds necessary to close on the real estate transaction for the sale of property at 9211 Halesworth Drive to Miranda Homes or its assignees, and to authorize the board president and treasurer to execute said deeds.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve a deed for the Board of Education to the Board of Education for the purpose of placing an updated legal description of the record of the property of 9211 Hellsworth Drive, and approve the deeds necessary to close on the real estate transaction for the sale of property in 9211 Hellsworth Drive to Miranda Homes or its assignees, and to authorize the board and president and treasurer to execute said deeds. Yeah.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, can you call the roll?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously. Thank you, Board. Next on the agenda is 12.01, the legislative report. Dr. Johnson, you have the floor.
We have one more. What
Oh,
about
do we have one more?
11.14?
Where we at? Hold up.
Oh, he's an encroachment easement.
The encroachment of the easement agreements.
Oh, my apologies, Board.
No, my apologies, Mr. Smith. I think that was added late, like 4 o'clock today.
Oh,
We sent
I
an
was-
email out, but it was late.
No worries. That
So
was
that's-
40,000 feet in the air. I apologize about
I
that.
thought I might add that.
Thank you, thank you. So let's move on to 11.14, encroachment easement agreements. Mr. Denny, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. So Board, again, you should have before you 2 attachments. They're both easement agreements for the former Forest View School property. It's located at 9211 Halesworth Drive per record. And this, again, is pursuant to that same sales agreement in order to resolve all encroachments and/or property deeds for resolution. There are two easement agreements that would require board approval. So to that end, Board, the recommended action would be motion to approve encroachment easement agreements with resident N. Thomas and V. Green, trustee, for the purpose of closing on the real estate transaction for the property for sale at 9211 Halesworth Drive, and to authorize the board president and treasurer to execute said agreements.
Thank you, Superintendent Denny. Board, a motion is in order.
I'll make a motion to approve encroachment easement agreements with N. Thomas and V. Green, trustee, for the purposes of closing on the real estate transaction for the sale of property at 9211 Halesworth Drive, and to authorize the board president and the treasurer to execute said agreements.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Mr. Seymour, can you call the vote?
Ms. Bryant?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Knighton?
Aye.
Mr. Spielman?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. That vote passes unanimously, board. Thank you very much. Now, I believe we'll move to Dr. Johnson with our legislative report.
Okay, legislative report. The full legislative report, Mr. President and Board, is 33 pages long, but here are the items that I'd like to highlight. For the May 2025, there was testimony, as Mr. Seymour had talked earlier, about House Bill 96, and the Senate Education Committee has concluded, and the deadline for Senate members to submit their requests for amendments to the bill has passed. Senate leadership has been working behind the scenes to determine what the Senate version would look like. June the 3rd is a date set for the Senate substitute bill to be unveiled, and a Senate floor vote is expected on June the 12th. It should be noted that there will be one opportunity for public testimony in the Senate Finance Committee on House Bill 96 prior to the introduction of the substitute bill. And the Senate Education Committee held 2 hearings, one where there was a panel heard on invited testimony on House Bill 96 from the Buckeye Institute and the Fordham Foundation and the Ohio Excels, and the other was on public testimony on the library funding. Many public school districts representatives spoke in opposition to the House proposal to cap the budget carryover balances at the 30% of the previous year's expenditures, and several spoke of the importance of implementing the Fair School Funding Plan. So we've had much discussion about that, so I thought that was reasonable to bring forward. The other thing that I want to highlight is the committee voted to recommend 2 bills for the consideration by the full House, which was House Bill 114, a bill to require that students be 5 years old by the start of school to enroll in kindergarten. An earlier version of the bill would have prohibited school acceleration policies to allow 4-year-olds to be enrolled, but that provision was stuck from the bill in the previous hearing. And the other bill was House Bill 127, and it was a bill to explicitly remove student directory information from the list of information subject to the Ohio Public Records Law. Those were those 2, and then the committee also heard sponsor testimony on House Bill 187, which will require school districts to institute a practice of pausing a moment of silence during every school day, and the lawmakers deliberated on mandatory moment of silence for public school districts to be required to provide students an opportunity for prayer or reflection under a bipartisan proposal under consideration in the House. The last thing that I wanted to highlight was House Bill 269, which was introduced, which is a bill that requires the Department of Education and Workforce to develop a model success sequence and character education curriculum for use by school districts. Another kind of graduation requirement, if you will. And the boards of education will be required to adopt success sequence and character education curriculum approved by the Department of Education and Workforce beginning with 2027-2028 school year. And the Senate is considering success sequence legislation, Senate Bill 156, which would require instruction to be included in one course required for graduation. As I stated, and there's one thing that I already had mentioned about the cell phone policy that I read during when we were talking about our cell phone policy. But as I stated, the full legislative report is 33 pages long, but these are the legislative items that I thought were important to highlight this month. So I invite you to read what's in board docs.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Next, we'll move on to 12.02, the Great Oaks report, and that report was sent by our representative, former board member Jeff Birdie, who is still representing Winton Woods City School District there. We appreciate that. The Spotlight on Students report included one Winton Woods warrior, Addie Lynn Lane, Scarlet Early Childhood Education, Top 10 Facts Chapters for Exceptional Project Youth Traffic Safety in the State of Ohio. So congratulations to Miss Lane, Addie Lynn Lane, congratulations. Yes, Ms. Bryant.
I saw that name too, but actually we have 3 additional warriors that are also on the list for other accomplishments from the Great Oaks.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So I want to congratulate Aiden Eckerly. He placed 6th in the heavy equipment at the Skills USA State Competition. And we have Ben Walsh, who placed 9th in television video production at the Skills US State Competition. And to Brian Gonzalez Rodriguez, he placed 9th in the television video production in the Skills USA State Competition. So yes, so 4 warriors altogether, which is awesome.
Next is 13.01, board motions and recommendations. Board, any motions or recommendations? Seeing none, let's move on to 14.01, comments from members of the board and superintendent. We'll start with you. Mr. Seymour, a man of few words. Go right ahead.
No, thank you. I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Bryant?
I want to just say congrats to all that were honored today. And thank you to Green Hills and Forest Park Kiwanis Club again this year for celebrating our students and for their awards. As a former Builders Club and Key Club member, it's always near and dear to my heart. So thank you, Mr. Bell, for all that you do. Also, thank you for Skyline Chili for honoring our student athletes and our teachers. I think it's a great opportunity for us to really kind of shout out them as a community partner because they have been truly faithful for making sure that we are able to give those awards. So thank you. In addition, thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Stump. I was telling Mrs. Stump, I'm not sure what the concession stand is going to look like if I don't see her behind the concession stand. So she cannot give up that post yet. So thank you. And also thank you for Ms. Taylor. Thank you guys for being a great example of what it's like to be a warrior parent and for going the extra mile for our students. Thank you, Mrs. Dunn, for being part of the 30-year tradition of making the ribbons. I cannot tell you how much joy it gives me to see those every year. And as a parent, the joy of getting that ribbon off the fence for your warrior. So thank you for starting that tradition and for being part of the community. I also want to give a shout out to Forest Park We Thrive. I got a text this morning where there was I guess kind of a call to action that our 6th graders at South Campus were being celebrated today for their transition from elementary school to junior high, and they needed breakfast items. So thank you, We Thrive, for stepping up to the action and being a great community partner. They had pastries available and different juice options for the students. So thank you for that as well. Again, congrats to our Great Oaks students that were mentioned before. And last but not least, thank you again to Waycross Community Media for all that you do and for showing up for these board meetings. We appreciate you. And congrats to our 2025 graduates. I echo our president's sentiment about the graduation. It was the best that I think I've attended many college and high school graduations, and this one was stellar. So thank you, and go Warriors.
Ms. Knight?
I'll be really brief. I just want to, as this is our last meeting before we break for summer and everybody gets to go out for summer break, I just want to say have a very safe and wonderful summer break. I agree with graduation sentiments. I might be a little bit biased.
That's okay. You're allowed.
Thousands of you saw me crying on stage. So my baby is one of the 2025 graduates. I had the honor of carrying him for 9 months in my belly. And so he was one of the warriors that walked across. So I'm just a very super, super proud mom of him and just a lot of the friends that he has grown up with in this amazing district. So a big, big heart and love to our 2025 graduates and families, and proud other parents out there just like me And so don't make fun of me too hard for crying on stage. I had no idea what his speech was gonna say, so, I just had a lot of big emotions going through me right then. But thank you. Have a wonderful summer, a great summer. And thank you, Tony, for always being here and being consistent. So we appreciate you.
My question is, who owes Brandon the money?
Oh, yeah, I knew she wasn't gonna get 2 minutes into the speech. She's gonna be
Yeah, they were taking
balling.
bets on how fast I would cry.
I knew it. Yeah. I had the over under on her and Miss Miranda.
Oh, yes,
Well,
yes.
shout out to my son who had an amazing speech. I will say that.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely.
Dr. Johnson?
Yeah, I'll kind of echo the sentiments of Mrs. Bryan and Mrs. Knighton. But again, thank you to everyone who had an impact on our students for this calendar year, 2024, 2025, and your contribution to support our students, the parents, and the stakeholders in the district to help us operate in excellence toward academic progress. Greatly appreciated. Always say it once, twice, can't ever say thank you enough. So just thank you for the district leadership, to Mr. Seymour, to Superintendent Denny, and congratulations to our district honors and recipients tonight. Mrs. Bryan already named them all, so I won't. I just want to remind everybody as an academic that if you need to go to summer school, go to summer school. It's out there, it's on our list of things from June the 2nd, Monday, June the 2nd through Thursday, June the 26th. Again, I want to congratulate the class of 2025 on your graduation and your accomplishments during your journey through high school. And a special congratulations to the 2025 class valedictorian, Abigail Evans. And I had the pleasure of meeting her grandmother at a Tea for Moms at, she has a sister or cousin or something that is my granddaughter's best friend in first grade. And so we were just sitting there, and this lady kept talking about the valedictorian, and I said, oh, what school did she graduate from? Because she was saying like Tuesday, and I'm like, we had graduation on Tuesday. Oh, Winton Woods. And so we got into a very robust conversation, and she had some very complimentary things to say about the district and Abigail's experience here in the district. So it was just a pleasure to talk to her and hear her feedback. And also congratulations to our salutatorian. I feel like Mrs. Bryan is being very modest. Her son was our salutatorian, Brian Knighton. And congratulations again to you. And you're allowed to ugly cry when your son gets salutatorian. I think it's appropriate to ugly cry,
It's why I knew I was gonna win.
It's really okay. It's really okay. But congratulations to her. And I think, a sincere congratulations to the parents and grandparents that supported those students. And not just those students, but all of our 66 honors diploma scholars, that they didn't do it alone. They had to be encouraged. And along the way, they may have gotten a little tired, and somebody, held them up. And I appreciated and enjoyed both Abigail's and Brian's graduation speeches. They were sincere, they were genuine, and they were heartfelt, and you could feel it from the stage. You could feel their energy, and it was really, it was really quite amazing. So, I just want to leave you with this thought. Goals are dreams with deadlines. Dreams are goals with accomplishments. And the destiny of hard work is success. And my mother drilled that in all of us, all 10 of us. And if you say it enough times, she had it written on the mirror, she had it written on the refrigerator. Couldn't go in the refrigerator without saying that. So, but it is. So, and if you believe that, then it'll become manifested. So congratulations all around. Job well done. And stay safe, healthy, and well through the summer, and go Warriors.
Thank you. Mr. Spillman?
Yes, I too would like to congratulate all of our graduates as they move forward with the next steps in whatever they're going to do in life. I'd also like to honor our teachers, staff, administration, our bus drivers, food service workers, as you excitedly look forward to the end of the week in a summer of restoration, rejuvenation, fun, and relaxation. Enjoy your summers. And to our students in K to 11, congratulations on finishing another year, and have a great summer.
Yeah.
Superintendent Denny.
Thanks, Mr. Smith. I just want to pause for a moment and just reflect on like the awards portion from this evening, the Honor Scholars Dinner, the graduation ceremony. And if you just sit back and collectively take that in, it's a special place. I don't know what else to say. And you've all said it already, but it doesn't happen on accident. It happens because of a lot of intense effort and commitment and dedication from a lot of people, including our families. So thank you to our families for choosing Winton Woods and giving us your greatest asset, your greatest blessing, and your child, allowing us to educate them. It's just a privilege. It's an honor. I don't think I could have been more proud. We did confirm, this is graduation note, sidebar, we did confirm through Miss Dunn, who started making ribbons in 1991 when the merger occurred between Green Hills High School and Forest Park High School, that this senior class, she says, is the biggest on record. 376 graduates is bigger than even
That's
1991 when the school first opened. So that's kind of remarkable.
That's it, it is, it is.
But I think it just says something about people are choosing to be here. Are we perfect? No. Do we have room to grow? Absolutely. But we got a lot of great things happening too, and we need to appreciate our staff for helping us get there, our families for choosing us, and our kids for putting in the time and the effort and exhibiting what they do on a daily. And so I'm just thankful to everybody, and thank you to the board for this past year, and looking forward to the summer and next school year. So thank you.
It's always a great day to be a warrior.
Absolutely.
Great day to be a warrior.
Absolutely.
Warrior for life.
Well, thank you for everyone sitting around this oddly shaped U for all the work that you've done this year. Graduation is a testament to the hard work that's put into this district by everyone. And being on that stage on Tuesday meant a lot to me as a 2002 proud graduate of Winton Woods. To walk across that stage in 2002 to now be able to stand up there and to be involved in the commencement the way I was. It was just, it was unreal. Just to show the quality of product that we put out of this district. I tell people I'm a walking, talking testimony that once I sat in a seat like that, now I sit in a seat like this, and that is the product of Winton Woods City Schools. That's where I got my foundation from before I went anywhere. So let us continue to do that hard work. Let us take this summertime to rejuvenate ourselves, have a good time, relax, do a little bit of work to keep our minds agile and ready to come back. But let's enjoy this summer and be safe. Let's enjoy it and be safe and be responsible. With that being said, let's move on to 15.01. I now call this meeting of the Winton Woods City School Board of Education adjourned. Thank you to all in attendance. And of course, we would like to thank Waycross Community Media for their dedication to broadcasting this meeting. Thank you.